what this code is about too.
Yeah, so I have been way more successful on Alari. I'm not playing her this game. I'm switching over to DPS. I'm on the Pharah. Um, Usually when I play DPS, I go Widowmaker. This season has been less fun playing Widow because of all of the Doomfist and Vendetta that have been running around, and so
Right.
I want to deepen my hero pool. And so just interested to learning more about. I know I need to work on my aim with Farah, but I want to know sort of positioning, where to position her as sort of a more aerial character. Um, yeah, I
Right.
guess that's yeah, baseline context.
So you mentioned Vendetta. I see Vendetta's in this game too. Is there a specific reason as to why you wanted to go through this game? I guess I suppose, or anything that in particular happens, or anything to do with Vendetta.
Um, Not particularly. I think if I recall correctly, the Vendetta player switches pretty quick. I think it's more so overall like positioning.
Right, fair enough. I will say, there's a few things. I guess I'll rattle off a few things or concepts or ideas before we get into this. Just to look for what, just see what I'm looking for. The first thing, when you're playing into Vendetta or Doomfist, or dive comps in general, especially this character who's got a really high win rate right now, is stopping Vendetta engaging before she actually engages. Because when Vendetta actually goes in, she does a lot. But when she's not doing anything, she's literally like she might as well just be dead at that point because she's only tossing fire
Hmm.
strikes. So preventing her staging is really important. Of course, they're going to swap her eventually. But what I want to see here on neutral or initially is if you see Vendetta, do as much or path around the Vendetta in such a way where A, you can't get a dove by Vendetta. In other words, she can't sword at you and you're safe yourself. And B, spamming her out to where she needs to leave and take a different path. That's my alarm. Whoa. Um, that's the general idea when you're playing into Vendetta or just dive comps in general, but especially that character because she just has no range. The
Yeah.
second thing is, what do you think about this Zen and this Ash?
They're super diveable.
Right. And this is where we get into a little bit of a dilemma here because you want to keep your distance because you want to stop this person, but if you keep
Yeah.
your distance, you're going to get poked out by this person and by this person too. So the way you blend these sort of like different ranges and playstyles is like two things. Firstly, I often have like I guess a framework when I typically coach more ranged comps or ranged characters into divier comps or divier characters, which is Spar. I think maybe I've told you this last time. I've used it so many times. I don't know who I told it to, but
Yeah.
yes, get scout prevent, absorb rotate. This prevention thing, or the bit about Vendetta, is the prevention part. When she leaves, specifically when she dashes out and she uses her whirlwind dash, it's a long cooldown, and you've got a decent window of time to then flank around and try and deepen your angle to reach these two targets. And in some ways, you actually want to be thinking like this Vendetta, because these guys, specifically the Zen and then the Ash, they want to prevent your angle too. Okay, why have I just DC'd? Um, great,
Hmm.
great, great. Connection. Okay. That should be fine. I think. I hope. Okay, we'll just see how things go. Of course, I'll just be back in, so hopefully I don't have any insane tech issues. But we'll
Yeah, no worries.
see. Let's see what code it is. T2.
Oh, it should be
Uh,
at the top, I think I saw.
oh, there we go. Alright, something like that. Okay, fair enough. We'll see how things go. It shouldn't be that big of an issue. But we'll see how this first fight goes. I wanted to mention those two playstyles or those two ideas because they can clash, and I guess knowing which one to do or when to do it is going to be the important thing in this game. So we'll
Okay.
see what happens. Of course, we'll get into micro, do with your mechanics, aim, jet management, etc., and cover usage. We'll see.
Establishing aerial position.
Okay. Okay. So like already, what might be the slight issue here? There's a few things.
Um, Fuel management.
That's kind of the first thing, right? Where like we are so oblivious of our own fuel management that we end up like going behind the roof here or sagging a little bit behind, and yeah, this is obviously a little bit clunky, to put it lightly. So where could
Hmm.
you actually use your fuel or go to, or where could you rotate to basically when you've got your fuel active?
The corners of like the middle white building.
Yes, this would be great. This is more than reasonable, yeah. You could stay here too. That'd be fine. You could even go here and play this corner too, right? I guess the point, because you don't know what comp they're running right now. Again, this is first fight. You're scouting right now, which is all you're doing. That's fine. I think a really important idea. This actually goes beyond Pharah and is more of a flex DPS concept. This applies to Vendetta. Actually, I literally just talked about it in my Vendetta video. But Genji, Tracer too, Pharah as well, Echo. You in the pre-fight, you almost want to put yourself in positions to where you're not hard committing to anything. In other words, you've got flexibility and you've got options, and you're not necessarily fighting anyone at the start of a fight, or you're not committing, because if you commit to a position, you might be cleared. So this position's fine. Again, it's more than reasonable. I don't mind it, right? Again, if you flew to here, I would be perfectly fine with this. But I wouldn't say it's the optimal position. The reason being is that a Vendetta, or someone, but again specifically the Vendetta, could fly over the rooftop and clear you out. And if you get cleared, then you lose all the space, and then you can't do much for the rest of the fight. So putting yourself in, or sort of distancing and spacing yourself is really important at the beginning of fights, especially on flex DPS characters. Vendetta is, again, the example I'm using here, but it could be a Genji that could wall climb over the rooftop and shuriken you and you're forced to leave. Or it could be an Echo flying over here and then sticking you and forcing you to leave. Characters that can fly and essentially... this is so annoying. But characters that can fly and sort of force you out. This is really frustrating. Why is it... Okay, I see... Okay, I've got a slight issue where my Ethernet is disconnecting, and then it's connecting to my Wi-Fi, and then it's going back to my Ethernet, which is the annoying part. Hopefully, my Ethernet's fine. If my Ethernet's not fine, then I'll unplug it and I'll just go off of Wi-Fi. If it happens again. Hopefully. Hopefully not. But yeah, bit unfortunate. But we'll see what happens to it, with where you move. Okay. Okay. We'll see Hog now, fine. Sure. Hook's okay. Station's fine. Yeah, nothing crazy. I mean, this is fairly okay spam. My only issue is the pathing, or how you reach the Ash in the first place. What do you think might be the issue? With how you... Well, not how you... Or where you move more specifically.
I'm sort of strafing into open space.
Yeah.
Where the rest of their team can see me.
Exactly, right? Now, considering you don't see Vendetta, like, this entire bit here, like, at all. Don't see Vendetta at all. It's still spelling Ash, right? Vendetta's down main, there you see Vendetta. Now, this would be actually okay to dash over here. Right, why? Okay. Because you see Vendetta is blocking down main. She's gonna have to use her block resource. You can probably dash over here. If she does slice onto you, and she does want to, like, throw a slice and then go onto you, you should be fine. You can just fly away, and she should be overcommitting, basically, is the point. And the trigger, of course, for you to do this position is Ash is low, so you want to get the kill. The slight pathing thing, or slight pathing issue. Because you are in a little bit out in the open. And barring that, I think the reason why you do this is fine. So, reasonable. Nice. Sure. Small thing is that I would probably boost it over here. It's a bit counterintuitive, but if you're standing over here, actually a really important thing about that comp, barring the Vendetta, is all these characters are immobile. So if this person is cleared, or if this person is leaving, or if they're, again, not a threat to you, then you can take these angles above Zen, or above anyone on this team, and they can't really clear you, because they've got low mobility. And they don't want to get close to you, because you're far. You'll blow them up at close. So you can actually boost her, or dash. You can even use your horizontal dash there to chase and hit the side ground, punch Zen from above, that kind of thing. A small thing there. Okay. Should be fine. Okay, spam. Good point. Fine. Cool. Really a little bit nitpicky here, but always good to, again, your team's capping point, or one person's on point, your Juno's on point. You can just be here, floating and poking. Is all you need to be doing. Like, you can spam the doorway, or spam the spawn, spam this. Just get free ult charge, and then of course, by the time the fight begins, you'll have your jet back in time, so you won't have wasted any fuel. It's small optimization. Okay. Cool. This position is fine to start. Fine. Cool. Okay. Only thing is, again, your fuel management is a little... Again, it's not terrible, but... And you're spacing yourself correctly. Like, again, you're making sure that you're not too close to Vendetta to where she can just blow you up and slice you. So your spacing is good. But yeah, again, your full management's a little, tiny bit rough there, but nothing crazy. Your Bastion gets a kill as a result. Okay. So what should you do after your Bastion gets this kill? Or kills his end, rather?
I don't know.
What? Let's say you had would you have an answer if you had full fuel?
Yes.
Right, where would you go?
I'd probably look to see where the rest of the team is to sort of split them.
So scouting's fine there, and then because you've got full fuel, then you can probably deepen your angle and go from behind, right? Again, keep in mind, you just did some good scouting, so you know everyone's roughly in this vicinity underneath the high grounds. You can probably pinch from behind, is what I'd really say, or add on.
Okay.
It's a little bit, a tiny bit clunky. If you really want to, you can actually concuss yourself over the top like this, and then get a better angle here, and then spam with your team, or catch anyone coming from behind, something like that. Or again, you can concuss, go over here, and then fly over here, and then catch the back end. That's fine as well. But it's some kind of mobility or some kind of movement to deepen your angle, because you got to pick it, so you want to push your advantage. Okay. Sure, your risk is really low. Nothing's good. Nice. Actually really glad that you didn't just directly fly down main like this. I know a lot of players would have done that. Going here and then going here is a lot better in terms of your pathing. That's good, so you didn't get caught by Ash there. Good, generally good pathing there. Okay. Fine. And a bit of a roll here. Hopefully we can get a little bit more of a fight next fight. Sombra now. Not that it I don't think Sombra changes. In fact, Sombra simplifies things arguably for you, because you can't prevent or stop a Sombra because she's invisible. So in fact, this actually simplifies most of your job. Okay. We'll talk about the fuel management in a moment. And where you should go. Yeah. So we'll start with this, because I've got overlay off, so we'll see what your team's at, see what you're seeing. Yeah, okay. So, what is your team currently doing?
They're ingressing on the left-hand side.
Yes, right. Now, obviously, you can see this in the game, you can see your teammates. The reason why I've got overlay off is because, annoyingly, I would like to have overlay on for your team, but not their team, because obviously you can't see their team. But you can see how aggressive your Orisa is pushing up, and hopefully you can see your Bastion's currently in turret form right now. So, when I don't think I've described this to you, but often I talk about game sense. And what does game sense mean? Well, all it is looking at visual indicators or visual cues in the game and knowing what that tells you, or sort of decoding that and knowing or decoding that into action basically for what you want to do. In this case, Orisa standing here is not just Orisa standing here, it's her aggressing, and that implies that you should be doing something, right? Bastion popping form is the exact same thing. It's not just Bastion popping form, it implies aggression and implies something that you should do about it, right? Here, we're really, really passive, and considering you can see your team for quite a long time, here we're scouting a little bit, we see Orisa a little bit there at the bottom right. Arguably, we waste a little bit of fuel a little bit too early on, so now we're here, which is not a great position to be. So arguably, again, we're wasting fuel a little bit too early on. But because of that, we can't follow up on our team, right? And actually, we actually are using cooldowns to try and get in a little bit more involved, right? You dash to the right side, and then you boost it up a little bit, and then you strafe a little bit to the left here. The strafe I find interesting. But where should you actually go based off where your Orisa Bastion's, or how aggressive your Orisa Bastion's playing? Where might be a good place to play? We'll talk about your cooldowns.
Should I try and go to sort of like the top of the white building to look straight down the alleyway?
Like what, over here?
Yeah, like down there.
This could be...
or on the other side of that little hump.
Yeah, I mean, somewhere over here, like I'll draw it out. So like somewhere you can I don't think you can glide over this, but you can maybe glide over this. You can stand here and fire down. You can maybe, we'll talk about gliding over this in a moment. And of course you can stand here potentially as well. These are fine places to play. I think the cooldowns, and again, it's kind of intertwined because of how you use your cooldowns here. So ideally, you shouldn't have to use horizontal dash to reach this right side high ground, because no one's here. Like, no one's spamming down this corridor. your Arista Bastion's going in, so you should just be able to just fly over here safely without much of a concern. And you can just do this, and then go over here. And then ideally, from here, you can save your cooldowns in case you get pushed by someone like a Sombra, right? So maybe you're here, fly over a little bit, then maybe you can boost her up, or just, again, use your normal jets, get a really good angle here, boot people in. So, again, maybe we're here, we're hovering a little bit, we can boot people in front of our Bastion and Narissa, or you can flank a little bit deeper and get an angle onto their Zen, onto their Lucio, something like that. And if we get jumped by a Sombra, maybe this person throws their translocator towards our way, then we've got horizontal dash to just back up and leave. And we should be okay, because our supports are somewhere here. So that's the idea in terms of like using your cooldowns here. In other words, we're saving our cooldowns, or we're taking an aggressive position first. In this case, this is the aggressive position we're taking. And then, in case we get pushed, we're saving our dash to be able to jump out if we really need to. In this case, because we've got no fuel, we have to use dash to come right side. And then, again, I said this just straight as interesting, right? What makes you not take the top right high grounds? What makes you scared to take the top right high grounds? Or go over here?
I'm actually not sure in the moment.
Right, because, again, like, that's the nuance. The only person you should be scared of, maybe, is their Sombra. And even then, I'm putting it as a stretch. I don't think a good Sombra player would throw her only escapability to try and duel you. That's not what that character's built for. If that's a Genji or a Vendetta or a Tracer, sure, I think that makes more sense. And I'd still be saving horizontal dash here anyways, just out of good principle. But regardless, there really should not be anything stopping you from going right side. And again, I think this might just be a comp thing, or a how would I say it? A comp and confidence thing, where maybe you feel, and again, I maybe have described this to you in the past. I know I've said it to many players before, but just because you're playing an aggressive position, so again, this would be it, doesn't necessarily mean you're putting yourself in danger, or that it's inherently scary, right? Like, again, maybe if you're playing into like a Lucio Kiri, Tracer, Echo comp, playing here would be a little bit too much. Maybe then, if you're playing into that kind of comp, I'd want you swinging with your Bastion and Narissa and keeping that distance, keeping that spacing. That's the nuance. But against a comp like this, and especially in unranked as well, there's really no reason to not at least experiment and see what you can get away with. And I think 9 times out of 10, unless you're playing against a really short-ranged fast comp, you should be fine going here. Unless, and again, if you're not playing against that comp, then again, just space well, play distance, etc. But yeah, this is kind of the main thing, this fight, I suppose. And again, the cooldowns will follow afterwards in terms of how you use booster, how you use concussion, how you use dash, right? I can't talk about concussion usage if you're not putting yourself in a position to get good concussors, you know? Even here, like, the Terror Surge, exactly, right? Like, again, you could boot the Zen, or even these people, back into the Surge, you know? But we're not in a position to be able to do that. Maybe you can, but who knows from here. But it's harder to do, you know? So that's kind of the big thing, right? Okay. We'll see here. Yeah, even though you see him win, thankfully, we end up hitting like one direct onto their hog, and ends up not being much value. Okay, we'll see next fight. Get up a little bit. Okay. Sure. I would not be that scared of dropping and going for Sombra here. So this is micro. But you could just drop here. If she viruses you, you dash away, you can cuss away, you're fine, right? But like, she does not want to match you up close, believe it or not. In fact, most characters that are like in Sombra, unless a character's built for close range engagement, Sombra's more mid range or short to mid range. They really don't want to be hitting directs up you up front. So you can definitely like go for that Sombra. Okay, someone micro there. Okay, good that you don't immediately go on Ash, which is good. The only issue is where you're positioned, really. So I'm glad the spacing's good. Again, we're not entering onto Asher, which is good. But the bad thing is that we're not in not in a very flexible position, which is because of our jet fuel, sadly. So as you can see, we try and force Sombra, which we do, and then our fuel's a little bit dodgy, right? When you're floating here and you see Ashe, where could you maybe go to? Right now.
The wooden ledge.
Say that again, sorry?
The wooden ledge.
Yeah, so you could go. I mean, there's two options here, really. Like there's a little ledge here, which is fine, or this ledge here too, is also fine. You can just play this. Well, should be okay either way. But the point being is that Ashe can't clear you safely out of any of these angles. You can spam her regardless. It should be fine. And again, if you're here, you can just spam the choke. Like this is again a very flexible position. And again, linking back into that idea I mentioned at the very beginning, when you're playing flex DPS, or again Pharah in this case, in the pre-fight especially, it's really important that you put yourself in positions where you can't get cleared and where you have options. And this is probably the best place for it. This place also will be fine too for options. You can clear Sombra, you can spam choke, you can punish the rotate, you can fly back here. Here, you can again punish Ashe, you can shoot Sombra, you can punish the choke, you can control this room, you can go for a deeper flank. There's many things you can do here. That flexibility is really important at the beginning of fights. So that's what is being taken away a little bit because of the slightly poor jet fuel management. Okay. Fine. Sure. So this is again kind of linking on to what I just mentioned, right? Because now the place I was choosing is to clear Sombra. But A, your character's not really good at clearing Sombra. I mean, and B, no character in the game is really good at clearing Sombra because she's invincible. So we're kind of wasting our time here, basically. Where a Bastion dies. Well, I didn't even know which side. Yeah, a Bastion does die for Zen. And again, we're not in a position. Let's put our camera here because I assume Ashe has moved up right now. Yeah, she has, right? We're not in a position right now to dive or zone the Ashe, and we could just be like the little troll under the bridge. Basically, we can just like stop the Ashe from moving here at all. Again, she just I don't know what you do if you're Ashe. She just has to leave and take a different angle and hope for the best. Is all Ashe can really do. But yeah, again, you can just control high ground here and punish the Ashe. I think that's a little bit of a missed opportunity there. Yeah, I see what you meant by aiming at the start. I think this is an undershot there, and then we undershot the Sombra, and then we overcorrect. So look over above, and then end up going in between the Sombra there. Again, you'll fix these things the more accustomed you come to playing Pharah. Okay. Yeah. I think what might be... Sometimes I like doing this, so I'll put the camera here. And then, where do you move? So... Yeah, so like 253, we're gonna put 2x. 1.75, that's fine. And see, like, we really could have we honestly could have dive bombed the Ashe and just could have gotten that kill for free entirely. And then after we killed, like, look how much you can do. You can kill the Ashe, punish and pincer the Zen Hog from behind, and no one can really punish you. And let's be real, you're probably gonna get barrage in that time too. And maybe you can get a good barrage if Hog hasn't got hook, and then you get 3 kills, right? That's a very, again, it's an optimistic outlook of the fight, but I think what's realistic is at least you get this Ashe kill, and at least you get barrage in time, and maybe you get a kill with that. Is probably what's gonna happen.
Okay.
Yeah, a bit unfortunate. Okay. Well, we'll see here. But in short, that fight, a lot of tunneling on the Sombra.
Yeah.
Some micro in terms of how we can approach that, in terms of how we duel Sombra in the pre-fight, and making sure we're putting ourselves in flexible positions to have, again, options to zone, dive, control spaces, kite back, force point, clear a Sombra if we need to, etc. Okay. We'll see. Honestly, hang on. You probably could have... Okay, this is a bit risky to do this, right? But again, it's something right, so I think I would have done this anyways. Again, their comp cannot clear you at all, right? If you're standing up here or up here, no one's gonna come for you. Like, no, this obviously he can't fly. He hasn't got enough damage. She hasn't got enough close range damage, and she's not got enough chance to get it anyways. And she isn't gonna invest coachman to come at you. You could honestly stand over here or here and be fine, and no one's gonna come and clear you.
Okay.
Honestly, you could even potentially dash back to their spawn and take their angle, and again, no one's gonna come for you. They haven't got the mobility to do so. So, against comps that haven't got that mobility, you don't have to. You always have to leave.
Okay.
Alright, we'll see. this far. Hopefully your Iris doesn't die here. Your Jude doesn't set, that's unfortunate. Okay. Okay. The rest of the team has died here before you've gone back in time, in fairness, so there's not too much to necessarily add here. My only thing is, I don't think you know where Ashe is. You see Sombra, S1, fine, sure. And then I hit Ashe to my left, but we're not marking the Ashe here. I think there's a brief moment in time where she also comes. She's basically in your LOS, but regardless, maybe we can clear Ashe there a little bit. But barring that, nothing crazy. Here, just don't die, and keep the high ground if possible. Sure. Fine. I would be very careful. Don't die. Yeah, this is way too risky. So what's the issue with this?
I'm putting myself in wide open space.
Exactly, right. And not just that. Again, the space is the important part. Yeah, you're discorded too. What about the rest of your team?
Nowhere to be seen.
Yeah, right, and they're dead. Is the reason why. My Juno and Arissa have just come back from spawn. They have just respawned right now. So we're kind of inting in a little bit. And you should die for this. So, I assume you just didn't know they were dead? Or, again, you got a little bit tunneled on this Ashe, I assume. Or maybe you knew they were dead and then you just forgot because you see a big juicy Ashe, you hit a big juicy direct, and then you're like, oh, I can actually kill this Ashe player now.
Yeah.
Again, it's that restraint is really important. That restraint that you showed a little bit earlier, when again you were spamming the Ashe here and you didn't go for the Ashe, that's exactly what I need to see right now. Because this is basically feeding. You should die for this. How God knows how you get that kill. Yeah, I think that Hog just misses the hook, honestly. I hear a hook coming out. Yeah. Just misses the hook. Again, if that guy's 6 or something, like, you're just getting hooked and dying.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think I mentioned this to players in Masters and below all the time. It's like, you'll do so many things that on paper will just sound good to do on paper, or rather sound bad to do on paper, like display for example, but they'll just end up working out because of the either you're playing in or the players you're playing against. This is one of those cases. Yeah. Okay. See here, interesting perk choice. Okay, so what makes you? I don't talk about perks often, unless they're new perks or it's a complicated choice. Why pick the shield one here?
In the past, like when I find myself on Pharah, I think it's really challenging for players at the lower ranks to sort of heal flyers. I notice oftentimes my supports, even when I'm like flying close to them, they just don't look up, and so I like the sort of like self-reliability and self-durability of the shield perk.
I find that that's interesting. I think, because I'm trying to think of situations where because the reason you're taking it is because of the inadequacy of your teammates, which is a fair point. It's more so, how would I phrase it in this case? The reason why I sort of have not necessarily an issue, but the reason why it might be a bit of a concern the more you climb is that you're not going to be taking this Helix perk or this whatever the name is, the shield perk, when you get better teammates anyways. So you might as well start practicing with the moving barrage, and with moving barrage, it's kind of broken. I mean, you basically get free kill every time when you have it. So I get why you do it. I think if you're scared about, what about if I get poked by Ashe or I take poke damage while I'm flying, then I'll take a billion years to heal it back up, right? That is true, but then again, I think the point there to be made is, why are you taking damage there to begin with? Is it because of bad cover usage? Is it because your timing's not great? Is it because your pathing's not great? Or is it a combination of all three? In other words, there's ways to outplay not having shields. That requires skill. Okay. And again, it's better to learn that rather than just having a band-aid. It's almost like stabilizers when you're running it back for the first time. That's what this perk feels like. Same as the way I described with the Tracer's pulse bomb perk before it got removed, where you had like a larger pulse bomb radius. It was good to like practice pulse bomb with, but once you got comfortable, you didn't actually need to have it. So maybe this is good for practice, right? If you want to move around the map a little bit more. I think for sure when you're getting the hang of Pharah a little bit more, the moving barrage one is probably better. But yeah. Okay. Sure. Okay. We'll talk about this path thing in a moment, but I just want to see how this fight pans out. Oh. You are dead. How are you not dead? Whoa, okay. I'm so, like, I have so much to say. Okay, we'll go into the barrage later. My brain is, like, fried because of how much I want to say here. I think, firstly, forcing out the Sombra is good here. So she's left, you can take the angle here for free. I've got no real complaint with how or why you move here. This is fine. I've got a slight issue with the path thing, right? What is the issue, do you think?
I'm flying straight into a Roadhog.
Yes, flying straight into a hog, and who else too?
And a Zen.
And a Zen, right? Now this Zen just misses his orbs, right? Misses 1, misses 2, misses 3, right? And probably misses 4. 3 to 4 orbs, right? And the hog just ignores you entirely. So, if you wanted to go on Zen here, how might you change? And again, I think it's reasonable to go on Zen because Sombra's out. How might you change where you move? Or how you reach the Zen?
Should I go around the white pillar further from the hog?
Yeah, right. So here would be quite nice, right? Maybe we can use the reason being. Well, you tell me, why is going around here a little bit better?
I'm out of hook range.
Yeah. Why else?
I could boop.
What does this white pillar
I just
provide?
have natural cover.
Exactly, right? So you can stop taking damage from Zen at any moment in time, right? And you can even do like a little almost ring around the rosy or a peekaboo kind of thing, where like you can hide behind here, and he doesn't exactly know where you're gonna come from. And from the Zen's perspective, right? If I'm Zen right now, I'm seeing a Pharah like come around left, come around right side. I'm gonna back up because I can't clear you. B, I don't know where you're gonna come from, and C, I need to keep my spacing so that if you do dive me, I've got space to work with, so it makes it harder for you to reach me as Zen. So the Zen's gonna back up here if he sees you do that kind of thing. That's good for your part. Again, for the Zen, the trade-off is that, okay, I get space, so I get spacing, so I'm safer. The benefit for you is that the Zen gives up space. Back up, right? And that means you can take it. So you can concuss from here to here, and now we're directly above them. And now we can stop firing, we can even come over here too, right? And our pathing's basically perfect from there on. So that's probably how I would have wanted to see the pathing here be done, is a little bit more methodical. And then again, we can concuss on our feet from here to here. The reason why you concuss is because it just gives you bigger burst, or the initial burst velocity is a bit quicker. And horizontal dash is a little bit better for defensive purposes. That's why I'm saying concuss. But yeah, that's the main reason here. Secondly, the barrage. Before I get into that, I think where we end is actually pretty good. And this angle's really nice. Again, and it gives us flexibility, right? It gives us the option to drop off, get the mini. It gives us the option to spam. It gives us the option to go above and beyond, or go left, go right. And it gives us the option to do this play, which I wouldn't do. I'm actually shocked you don't die here.
I panicked.
Yeah. I was like, oh yeah, surely you're just gonna get headshot by the Zen, kicked in the face, and then Hog's gonna hook you, and you're gonna die. Maybe if you have moving barrage, just works, maybe. But even then, it's still really risky because you're in open space and your wrist is nowhere to be seen. So, in other words, it's a little bit early in terms. I say a little bit early. It's quite early in terms of the timing. And B, that's basically it, to be honest. It's just really early. Like, there's no cooldowns been forced out. No one else looking at your Orisa. The timing's the big issue here, really. The angle's good. Like, you're coming from behind. That's a good angle, right? So the angle's fine. It's just the timing. Okay. And then somehow he hooks you and then doesn't kill you, and then has to. God. Anyways. All right. Interesting orbital array. We'll see here. Okay, should be 1 point there. I think it's clean up there at that point. Nice. Okay, cool. Look at the next point. So this one should be more interesting because the sightlines on this map are way longer, and also there's more cover and pillars to use. So this is a really good map for testing pathing, especially if you're playing into like Widow. I know you're playing to Ashe, so slow range hit scan, same idea. Dam's okay, all good. Someone just unscared. Yeah. So, do you think standing? What do you think about standing still here?
Bad.
Why is it bad?
Not near my team. I don't have good sight lines. And if
Right.
the Sombra were to translocate, I'd sort of be alone.
Yeah. So honestly, I'm less concerned about. I mean, that's a slight concern on Somber to be fair. I'm less concerned on that because she can't really easily reach you on high ground anyways. And to be honest, she probably wants your Juno instead. But that is a
Mhm.
slight concern. The bigger concern is again, this reminds me of the fight. Like somewhere like you had like 40% or something. On point, and you're really far back from your Sebastian. This is pretty much the exact same case. Where again, we're really far back from our Sebastian, like excessively. And
Okay.
right now, Hook's been used, Splitspin's been used. I think Form or something's about to be used here. Yeah, Form's about to be used, right? And we're just not in a position to pincer at all, right? We
Mhm.
can spam, right? We can get good spam value. But why play Pharah here if you're gonna be playing this distance? Just play Widowmaker, right? I'm sure you would love to be Widowmaker here and just aim at the Zen's body, and you will just be doing more if you're Widowmaker here. On
Okay.
Pharah, not so much. So the question really is, I missed two, right? Or three actually. Where should we move? Where should we move? How should we move? And when should we move? We'll start off with where. So where should we go?
To the right-hand side?
Why? So like this side? Oh god.
Or hold on. Uh, or maybe should it be in the little hallway area?
Yeah, I call this catwalk. Yeah,
Yeah, catwalk.
I'd probably say here for sure.
Okay.
The reason being, in fact, you tell me why is maybe going here a little bit of a why is going the catwalk basically a slightly better choice? Do you think? There's a few reasons.
Because they're probably going to be looking at the big bastion NRS on the right-hand side.
Yes, so you'll get a better angle and you'll get a pincer is kind of the main reason. The secondary reason is you can see these guys are not playing here. So if you go here, you know you're gonna be safe. In other words, no one's coming here, you'll be fine. You did your scouting just a second ago. You know the Ash Zen are down main, you should be okay going left side. So you know roughly where they're at. Sombra, you shouldn't be worried about anyways. Again, you've got horizontal dash, you should be okay. Your Juno can see you, etc. So you should be fine about that regardless. But that I would probably go left side here as a result. The third reason and the final reason is based on ranges. So again, because they're running Zenash and you want to again get on top of them, I'd prefer to not play these wider, longer sight lines where you're giving more of an opportunity for the Ash to hit you or body shot you this entire time. So you could play this cover well, this cover well, this cover well. You could play it well here, and that could be genuinely fine. But if I'm Ash, I probably prefer you, honestly, to be playing this side than this side, because I can't see this side as Ash or Zen. I can't see it, whereas I can see this entire back end here, or the entire open space. This kind of leads me onto a more general idea about hidden flanking or hiding when you're flanking. So I might link you a video on Genji Tracer that go over this, because you kind of have to think like a Genji Tracer when you're playing against Zen and Ash and just range comps in general. You kind of have to be thinking like them. But here, and this leads me to the second question, right? When do we go? And actually, how do we go as well? Because now we know where we want to go. We want to go catwalk, right? But where do we want to go? Well, in fights, and I'll pause it here for a reason. In fights, and this is very general, there will be a skirmishing phase. We just had that skirmishing phase. Now, what I mean by skirmishing is you will be poking the enemy team, they'll be poking you, and as we just did, we were just shooting rockets at each other from miles away. That was fine. But at the end of a skirmishing phase, or while you're skirmishing, you will have to get back into cover to reload, and that's what we're doing, or to get HP back, right? Maybe you took a headshot and then you need to get some HP back, or whatever, right? It's this time where you're having to reload, and when you're having to gain HP back, or even cooldowns, for that matter of fact too, it's this time where you need to be flanking. So in terms of when, now is the time. Because you've just scouted, you've just seen where the Ashes are. You know where they are, right? But they can't see you now. So if you flank right now, they can't see you. They've got no idea where you're going to be coming from. Because again, they can't see you. So, in terms of when, this is the answer to the question. And I've kind of just answered the third question too. About how do we take the catwalk, right? Do we go over here or do we go here? Well, obviously we go here because it keeps us hidden, right? So, in other words, I know I've done like a big sort of spiel over like flanking on Pharah, but those three questions or those three sort of, again, points of reference will, or should ideally, I hope to tell you again how to flank, where to flank, and when to flank, and mostly above, why are we doing this? Why are we going here to begin with? Well, it's because of their comp. Also, it's because of the timing, because I'm busy reloading, they can't see me, right? And I'm going through here to keep myself hidden, to keep my hitbox hidden too, right? Also, one more thing to add with when, your team's pushing too. So obviously, you want to be in position and get yourself ready to actually pincer in time, right? So obviously, if you're taking a long flank, this is a fairly long flank, give or take. Right, you want to do it a little bit earlier and move a little bit earlier. So, as a result, you probably want to be moving now. But yeah, and all of that, combine all of that, and you'll probably be here right now. And if you were here right now, I can guarantee you might not be getting kills exactly because it might be too risky to push through here. But I can tell you, it'll be on a much better angle. You'll be pulling the Ashe Zen away, and you'll be playing an angle where they can't clear you for sure.
Okay.
But yeah. Okay. I think Zen, someone goes on to you immediately. Yeah. This will just be micro, so this is just sound cues. Pretty simple. But when you can hear Sombra's like when she throws her translocator, she goes into invis. So you can probably hear.
I also think it's important to say I am half deaf, so sometimes I genuinely
fair.
can't hear shit.
Okay, fair. Okay, fair enough then. Fair enough. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. Like literally, like right now, like that would be the time to fly away. But that's fair. That's fair. Okay. Okay. I'm not gonna cry about mechanics too much. Flying over there's fine. Reasonable. Sure, you can put some of that. Nice. Fine. Okay. Sure. Yeah, this is just mechanics, to be honest. Nice, there we go. Alright. Tactical Saga. Okay. Now. I'm just gonna say where do we go, but I wanna watch this first, because you might do it. Okay. This is okay. This is okay. Not as aggressive as I wanted it to be, but this is okay. Where could you maybe go from here?
Sort of dashed forward to sort of like the open part of the right side of the Parthenon.
Yeah, right, so come over here, and then look it's self-explanatory. I don't even need to explain why this is good. You can also just do this too. This is fine as well. Either one's fine. Again, I don't mind which one you do. I probably prefer this one because it's just a little bit harder for the summer to get to, but I'm nitpicking micro at that point in time. Either one's fine. This is a bit quicker as well, so yeah, I'm good with either. And as well, I think you use horizontal dasher to. Yeah, I think it's on 9 seconds. So when do you use this?
Okay.
Yeah, I prefer concuss again as I've explained beforehand, but nothing crazy.
Okay.
Again, you can just use your normal fuel. That's fine. Okay, so of course now if you have concuss, I'll concuss over the top or concuss right side and then go for the Zen. Okay. Alright. Now we go for it. Nice. Good. Better late than never. Nice. Alright, cool. Okay. Chill, yeah, nice. Okay. Nice. The stagger. Alright. And of course, now when you've got this perk, the Sky Spy perk, then it's more reasonable to use it on your engage rather than to reach your engage instead. So then it kind of swaps around a little bit. You can also just use your fuel normally. But yeah. Okay. Sure. Fine. Okay, the Ashe is just not. She's walking in front. Sure. Fine. For reference, a good Ashe will space you and she'll back off. That's fine. You'll get space to work with. Fine. Fine-ish. Then leaves you a little bit. Underneath you, fine.
Barrage ready.
Okay. Okay. Ash walks in front of you again. Okay. Sure. Fine. Yeah, I mean, there's honestly not really much else to be saying here. You're in a good position. The team's going in. Nothing crazy. Apart from mechanics, that is, because of course you shouldn't have to drop to reach the Ash there. It's a little bit risky. There should be a roll.
Okay. Yeah, and then I think it ends pretty
that's
soon.
fine. Okay, we'll look at the other code too. Copy. Paste. Alright.
And then you'll be able to skip ahead a bit because I was trying out Venture for like the first point cap.
Fair enough. Alright. There we go. Back up here a little bit because you do die here. Alright. Okay. Honestly, same kind of ideas on the first bit of Ilios about preventing and stopping their vendetta, but also being able to reach their hands on their mercy. Let's see how that pans out. Okay. So Vendetta's main. Okay, I would care Vendetta. Ooh. So this is the thing with Vendetta, right? And this is why it's so important to stop her from moving, because once she reaches you, it's really hard to deal with Vendetta, or she becomes really scary. And especially if she's got a really good pathing, she can come out of nowhere and you're dead before you even know it. So this is why the second you see Vendetta pathing down main like this, sure, you can keep shooting the Mercy, she gets hooked and get the kill, right, obviously. But after this happens, one of two things. Poke the Vendetta, obviously. And secondly, the more, I guess, complex idea is spacing. So in the same way that Ash was spacing you, or the Zen should be spacing you, in terms of keeping his distance and making sure that he's hard to reach, you need to be doing the same thing against Vendetta. Otherwise, she will just engage onto you, and she'll kill you. So here, I'd be spacing, right? I'd be backing off in this corner right now, or I'd be poking Mercy here and then backing off here right now. Either one would have been fine. You can even use Concuss to space the Vendetta too by backing up a little bit and making her engage a little bit more stuffed. Either one's fine. But yeah.
Okay.
That overhead almost hits you. Okay, and then you end up dying to random Hanzo spam because you're looking at Vendetta a little bit too much there. Nothing crazy about how you die to Hanzo, but I think the main thing is the damage you took from Vendetta, and more importantly, you didn't know where she was coming from or how she was engaging onto you. In fact, it might be even good to look at her POV about where she's going from. And now look from her point of view. He is gunning for you. He misses the overhead sadly. But yeah. Okay. Let's see. Next life. Okay. Sounds fine. Nice. Sure. Okay. You guys do get that point cap there? Alright. This is a lot harder to play around because this entire point is extremely open. So ideally, you're probably going to play these like little rooms here and then wait for like later into the fight where you can really dive in and get involved. But we'll see how it pans out here. Okay. Where's the team? The left side, like it. Fine. Cool. Do you care, Hanzo? Yeah, so this is why. I don't know how to describe it. But having like this like sixth spy sense, even though you don't exactly know where Hanzo's at, I even mentioned it to you. Be careful of Hanzo because I can tell you from experience, he's probably gonna come around right side and try and get an angle onto you. So this spam's fine. Like again, these guys are low HP. Venetta's feeding her brains out slightly. Jog might need a little bit of help, but that's fine. But just put yourself in a position. Two things, right? Put yourself in a position where A, Hanzo can't see you, and B, what was I gonna say? Damn it, I forgot now. Oh, that's annoying. Might come back to me. Slightly, I hope.
Okay.
Maybe.
No worries.
Yeah, it'll come back to me, I think. But yeah, that's the main thing. Is again putting yourself in a position to where Hanzo can't exactly see you. Oh yeah, I remember it now. In between your rockets, so you're shooting one here, one here, one here. It might be hard to do in low sense, to be fair. So I'll have a little bit of leeway for that. But you can look in between your rockets, or again on PC, this would be easier to do. To look in between your rockets to see back and forth to scout. At least maybe you can do it in between reloads. So if you're reloading rockets, then the animation is longer, so you might as well just do it then. But yeah, something to worth noting. If that Hanzo hits a Storm Arrow there, after he hits the body shot, you're dead. And that's because you just don't know where the Hanzo's playing or where he's at. Again, eventually, your win con, or the way you really get value on this character, is diving in or actually getting close to someone and hitting 2 rockets back to back onto them. This spam is good, but it's a pre-fight thing to do. It's not the win condition, right? It's not just, oh, I'm gonna spam Vendetta Juno and get kills. Like, sometimes that'll happen, but that's not your main win con. It's actually getting close and getting involved. Otherwise, you might as well just play Widow. Okay. Yeah, this is, whoa. They really are going for kills here. Mori's right side, you dash away. Dashing away is fine. Okay. This might just be maybe lost already. There's not really any places you can really go to after the dash. Maybe here's the only one I can think of. If you had enough fuel for that. But barring that, there's nowhere else you can really move to. That's safe. Concuss away. Oh my god. Yeah, so like, this is why it's really important. So, of course, you can't poke Vendetta in out because she's already engaging onto you. Concuss immediately and create distance. Space Sulfur as far away as possible right now. Because you're probably gonna die in this room. Oh my word. Sometimes I get shocked every day. How are we alive? But Vendetta's feeding. God almighty. Alright, we'll see here. Okay, no fade. Punish Moira, fine. Okay, sure. Looks reasonable. Fine. You are technically one person up here, so fine. Only thing I'd say here is, again, one or two things, right? Either get a slight angle here, you can maybe use a little bit of fuel, or get a better angle here to get a deeper angle into this little portal thing. And then again, the main thing is spacing Vendetta is the main win con here for now, until you can reach Hanzo later, or flanking through here after the Moira dies and trying to get a pick here before the fight begins, or get a better angle is the thing, or another thing to mention here as well. But barring that, nothing crazy. Okay. Sure, but Vendetta good. Fine. Sure. So this is really important, right? So sometimes I like doing this. Yeah, so I like doing this where I'll draw a box over your character. And, or in this case, a rectangle. And we'll put it 2x and see where you move. The reason why I like doing this is to show static positioning, or how little you move. So you've kind of stayed here for, now we start moving, right? So about 18 to 53 to about 11, or 10 to 11. So 17, 18 seconds where we stand here the entire fight, which is not great for our own value. So we'll see if there's moments in time, or if there's visual cues that tell us where to move, right? So again, if you're going to move, where is it likely that you're going to move to?
Or should I move to sort of like the little window to the left?
Yeah, right, that's probably one of the positions you're going to move to, most likely. That's probably the safest one to go to, because you can, of course, regen your boosters quite easily, and you can get a deeper angle into this little room, which is probably what you want after you see the Juno and the Vendetta go into the room anyways. The second one is, all the other ones are a little bit sketchy. I'd only do this if you've got Barrage, which is the first one's flying next to this building. Again, I'd only do this if you've got Barrage, because then you can come around the corner with moving Barrage, and then obviously enclosed room, Barrage, you're gonna get kills. Right. Or you can go with the statue, again similar to this case, but honestly this can be like your helipad almost, and then again you can use this as a little bit of cover to get a better angle. Last one, probably for next point, or if you're playing like a really deeper, playing for next point, or again playing for cleanup, is flying over here if you can, and then getting an angle behind them. I'd only do this if again you're getting cleanup kills, or whatever the case may be. But the point being, or the ultimate point, is get an angle that's deeper into this room. That's the operation, that's the goal. So, we'll see if there's any time to do it. Okay. Right, well imagine if you had full fuel. Right. So, what does the Vendetta do in the last 5 or right about now? She's blocking right now.
She blocks.
What's she
And
doing?
then she dashes in.
Yeah, she's somewhere in. Like you don't need to know exactly what she's doing, but the point is that she's in. She's doing something, right? She doesn't care about you. It's kind of the important part.
Mm-hmm.
Now, with that being said, this person's been partially dealt with, or they're in a position to where you don't really care about what they're doing right now. And now, what does that mean for this space on the map?
It's free.
It's free. Exactly. No one's gonna stop you from taking this angle, right? A Vendetta's not gonna slice you and pull you down with overhead. That's not gonna happen, right? Like, no one's gonna come for you. In fact, the Hanzo wants to space you, this person wants to space you, right? That's really important. So now is the time where I start thinking about moving left side, because Vendetta has gone.
Okay.
You can see, right? Like, we need to have been here, right? And it's a small thing, right? It's a small window of time. But you had a few seconds of time, right? Where that person might show this a little bit better. Oh yeah, overhead will help us for sure. Like Vendetta leaves. Right, second she leaves. Now we need to be moving right now. Right now, we're moving. And then the Juno can't walk. If she does, we kill her, which she gets punished heavily for it, right? If she walks like she is right now, then we can dive bomb her. And then we can just do our slight combo, so we can just cast in from here, or just fly normally, and then boost over to the high ground, come over here, so we're safe, and we're still punishing Juno. So that's the cycle that we do. We come over here, we dive bomb, and then go over here. Is one cycle. You can also just dash back over here with horizontal, and then fly over to this cover. That's fine as well. Or you can just do this, and then come back. You can do multiple cycles of how you want to do it. I don't really mind. I think the optimal one is here. Mainly because, again, they can't clear you. This guy's not going to wall climb close to you. That'll be stupid. This person can't reach you, and this person can't reach you. So this would be an aggressive but safe position. Put it another way. But here, again, we're not in a position to be able to do that. All we can do right now is spam the Juno. And I think that's kind of one of the probably big takeaways of this VOD is when are we moving? And how can we stop, or how can we put ourselves in positions to do these dive cycles and do it safely? Again, the example we had on Ilios was on Lighthouse, where again you were miles behind your Orisa Bastion, and you could have concussed the entire enemy team into the Terror Surge when you weren't there to be able to do that kind of thing. And this now, we're spamming Juno, we're getting some value here, sure, right? But if I'm Hanzo, I sure as hell want you to be playing this far, for sure. I don't want you coming close or coming up high gun or playing a position to where it's hard to clear you. I want you keeping distance. Okay? Now there's more advanced stuff to this, which is baiting. So in other words, these guys, if they're smart at the game, they will bait you to come dive them by spacing correctly. Right now they're not doing it right now because they're spacing correctly, but only because their Ryan's dead right now. I'm not going to mention it too much for now, because, again, there's bigger fish to fry, but it's something worth noting, that you might not always be able to go through this very obvious dive cycle, because the Juno, if she's smart, will not walk. She will space correctly. And then if you just space correctly, the counterplay is to just keep spamming, right? You don't actually have to dive Juno. You can just keep spamming, spam their backline, spam their frontline, or if you spam their frontline, you can force these guys to walk, which is the important thing. Or, if they're saying, again, if they're not walking, you can use the space that they give you by actually flanking through here, taking a better angle, or if they can't see you, you can come from here, boost it over the top, and then you get a really nice angle above them, and they can't see you. But again, it's a bit more advanced, and we're going to get into it for now. The main thing is, again, putting yourself in positions to punish these rotates, because, again, that Juno should be dead, like 9 times out of 10. Okay. It is very greedy. Yeah, very greedy. Funny enough, this is what I meant by spacing. Or not greeding a little bit too much here. I know Juno's low, but it's a little bit too aggressive here, I'm not gonna lie.
Okay.
Yeah. I wouldn't have minded if you wanted to like concuss yourself and dash away, or if you wanted to just walk in and then dash away. That's fine. I would say walk in, I mean hover in, then dash away. But yeah, this is not amazing considering you're face tanking 3 people. Wow, 1 HP. That's incredible. Barrage, not worth it. She's gonna die anyways. Okay. Worst dragon strike ever. Alright. See how this pans out. Okay, spacing's good. Fine. Sure. Good pathing. We're going straight directly for the hand of space. Sure. Okay. Your team are trying to kill the Vendetta here, fine. Sure. I'm not gonna cry about third point too much because attacking this point or the last point is really, really hard. Might be doable. Sure. Again, we don't want to be fighting this range. You know, that this is not where we want to be.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right, like, where should you go after you kill the Vendetta?
Probably I could go right.
Yeah.
Into sort of like one of the cubbies. Yeah, one of the that room that I was in with the Hanzo.
You could go here and then go over here, right, and come over here. That's fine. Or you could scout, as we are right now, just scout and then drop and then do the exact same thing. So again, we actually know roughly where they're coming from. You can come here too. That's okay. It's less good because there's less cover to use, but that could be fine. The point being is that scout and then path in a way where Hanzo can't see you is the main point.
Okay.
But yeah. Because again, in theory, he should be favored at this distance. Okay, and he has a body shot onto you there. Good punish from Vedessa. Okay. Okay, I'm not a huge fan of the horizontal dash there. Okay, mechanics there, but it's fine. Fine. Sure. Good concuss. Fine. Not again a huge fan of the positioning. You can keep spamming Reinhardt. Oh god. Yeah, you can keep spamming Reinhardt from here, by the way, while still keeping your angle. And again, talking about options, right? If you're here, you can leave. You can spam frontline. You can dive Juno. You can go all the way around and dive Hanzo. And if you've got barrage, you can really hard engage and go for a barrage play potentially. So again, playing here gives you options. Whereas the option right now by playing here in this space is shoot Reinhardt and flank around. Are the only 2 other options. So again, it reduces your playstyle options by going back main in front of the Ryan. As I mentioned, it should also make it easier for the Hanzo to shoot you. Which I was buying it. Yeah, he's shooting a turret right now, so not amazing. Okay. Yeah, that's just the nature of Flashpoint or Temple of Anubis rather, or Throne of Anubis. God. Okay, we'll see. Fine, sure. Okay. All right. We'll do a quick summary. I'll use this wall. I'll use this wall here.
Yeah.
Okay. Where do I start? Let me think. Yeah, okay, we'll start here. We'll start with like knowing, because I think the way you can use your cooldowns should be fairly intuitive. I think again, once you get to a good position, you should have an easier time. Is my thinking at least. So I think the most important point right now is knowing when to move to, or knowing when to flank. I'll just say that to be honest.
Yeah.
So again, the 2 key examples here. I'll say like point B, Throne of Anubis, and then Ilios, Lighthouse. I'll call it the Terror Surge fight. And again, the way I guess supposed to fix this is look at even the ruins as well. The first fight in ruins. Another example. Look at your teammates' aggression. Basically meaning, see where this is up. Is my Risa really pushed far forward? Is my Bastion forming? Is my Genji flanking? Is my Tracer behind? Is my Sombra set up yet? Is my Winston staging and looking to actually get a good angle to jump in? Something like that is what I mean by looking at their aggression. And then, as a result, again, D peek or hide while flanking. So again, this will happen during skirmishing because you'll be poking your Pharah all the time.
Right.
But that's the important thing. Second thing is I'll say like how you flank when you're pathing. It was fine sometimes. Sometimes it wasn't. Sometimes it was a little bit clunky. I think the main thing is again the cover, having off angles while you flank around, alongside being hidden, as I kind of mentioned there. So flying out in open space, obviously, is very telegraphed. You're out in open space. Again, I do actually recommend watching the end, somewhere at the end of my Vendetta video, because it covers pathing with that character, and it shows you what good pathing looks like, what bad pathing looks like, and actually how to achieve it. It'll be map specific, and there's some, again, differences between how you path in Vendetta and Pharah, but the overarching idea is the same, which is when you're trying to reach Mr. Hanzo or Freya, or again a ranged character, you can't be seen when you start shooting them from behind. If they know where you are, it's already over. That's kind of the how, and this is going to be more important the higher you climb. The last thing is your micro, your cooldowns. You're actually on a good angle. Dash CD. So main ones, I think we're a little bit too generous with our horizontal dash. I think what we can do instead is save it. That's not a big color. Save it defensively, almost like a failsafe, or a get out of jail free card.
Should I think of it sort of like a Sojourn slide?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I was literally just gonna say like a slide. To some extent a Zara bubble, to some extent an Echo Flight too. But yeah, if you save it when you get jumped, basically, kind of the point.
Okay.
I think again the way you'll just be using your normal fuel generally to traverse, or concussion. You actually want a hard engage. So an example of that would have been onto the Juno.
Yeah. Well. Okay. Yeah, that's what I need to practice.
Yeah, you'll get into the rhythm of that for sure. The last thing with micro, is the perks. Of course, we'll experiment more with the other perk, the other minor perk, and then when you've got Sky Spy, you'll be using that when you're actually on an angle to get directs, and as well in the pre-fight to see where people are and to actually get more damage in the pre-fight. So in that case, you'll be using concussion when you're fighting someone rather than traversing. But still, again, I don't mind if you've got the perk and you still want to traverse using concussion. That's fine. I think the bigger fish to fry is where you're moving, when you're moving, and how you're moving is the big three. But this is going to be important as well, of course. Any questions, queries, stuff like that?
No, I guess like my only question is, I know like OBS Sojourn sometimes releases videos. Would it be worth it at all to like watch like a he's saying POV?
Yeah. So I recommend. Okay, actually, now that you mention it, there's a cap video again. It's on Genji Tracer, not Vendetta. It's about pathing, which explains the skirmishing idea a little bit more. Where was it? See, I'll just link it here. Share, copy, and then Discord load, paste. There we go. I'll go through that, and then again you can think about how to apply it on Pharah, and then OBS. So yeah, I would literally the two things. So I have players who are actually fairly high ranked. I say fairly, they're better than like 99.9% of players, but like they watch POVs wrong. So of course, generally people would be like, oh, just type in your character and then just click on a POV and then watch it, you know? The way you watch a POV properly is not based on how much you watch, it's based on what you get out of what you're already watching. So in other words, if you want to watch a POV properly, let's say, where does he play Pharah? Oh, it's Pharmacy on this map. Oh yeah, the Pharmacy strat, yeah. If you want to watch this POV here, I would bring up different POVs from this map to see again Oh, if he's something simple, for example, I would pull up Simple's POV or something like that, for example, and then see how Simple's maneuvering, or something akin to that. I wouldn't go for this map because it's more of a comp. It's more of a sim specific counter strat, so this is probably not a great example.
Yeah.
And then I would watch a fight over again from different POVs to understand, okay, how is Hisang able to get kills here, or how is the Pharah, or even bad examples, like how is the Pharah dying here constantly, or how is she not getting value, whatever the case may be. Don't just watch it on 1 time speed and watch it once, because you won't get much out of it. You'll miss a lot of things. So that's kind of the important thing here. Again, you can see how most of the time he's using dash defensively to dodge damage, and he's using his fly. Again, it always fuel just normally to reach a TP. That's just micro that you can learn from that, for example. But yeah, that's how I would go through a POV. Anything else?
No, I think that's it.
Cool, no worries. I'll get this